What's going on, guys? It's Matt Marinoff, Real Estate Recovery Group, and my guest today is, and I'm normally to destroy his last name, so Ruel Baliong.
Baliong, close enough.
Baliong.
Yep.
Baliong. Actually sounds like a casino. And with the way you guys are killing it right now, you guys might be able to buy a casino, right?
Hopefully down the road. That's big dreams, Matt. Big dreams. Thanks for having me, by the way.
No, absolutely. I love having you on. So I'm going to give a little feedback, a little background, your history, and then we'll get into it.
Sure.
So you're a student, and I don't normally give shout out to companies, but you put it out there, so I'm going to read it. You guys, you and your partner, Lyndon, are Fortune Builder students. You knew nothing about real estate 2.5 years ago. Basically, at this point, you've now established yourself as successful people in the real estate community. There's a lot of people that have actually said to me, hey, you should reach out to Ruel and you guys should speak with each other. So I'll talk to you about that after the video.
Cool.
Being in the real estate world, you're looking to obviously build a portfolio of cash flowing properties. You're renovating properties right now. You said you did a walk on a property right now. Today, you currently still hold a 9-to-5 job. Is that correct?
I do. Still doing the nurse thing.
Right. So you're a nurse. Lyndon is a physical therapist.
Yep.
And now you wrote this, but I'm going to say it because I didn't post it. You're a nurse. He's a physical therapist. Surprise, surprise. 2 Asian guys in the medical field. And you wrote LOL.
Yes, of course.
I just want to clarify that because with all the bullshit that's going on in the world right now.
That joke was from me. Agent approved.
I like the way you put that. And so I really wanted to talk about a couple of different things that you had mentioned. And you talk about, the financial literacy part of the industry. And that people, I guess, get into this industry not knowing what they're going to be up against. There's a lot of fly-by-nighters. I was talking to a woman in North Carolina who's actually a wholesaler, and I convinced her to come on this Thursday. So you definitely should tune into that. I'm not a big fan of wholesalers, but wholesalers that understand and have compassion towards people that want to sell their property, this woman's got it on. She actually has 2 full-time cold callers. They're actually calling on the leads that she has. And she's actually built a really nice dynasty and footprint in the North Carolina spectrum as far as real estate.
Nice.
So, well, tell people a little bit about yourself. Why real estate? You're in the medical field. You're a nurse. You're like Fokker, MD, right?
Yes, Dr. Fokker.
Dr. Fokker.
Good reference.
Fokker, MD. Why real estate?
So, just to give a quick background, as Matt mentioned, my partner and I had 0 experience in real estate, and I'm sure you're familiar, and you mentioned Fortune Builders, and that was my very first time I got exposed to anything about real estate. Literally 2.5 years ago, zero kind of experience or even thought about real estate. But the reason we got into it was it made sense to me. It really did. Houses are obviously very limited resource. Unlike other investments out there, stocks, bonds, you don't have much control of any of those investments, which a lot of people kind of, unfortunately, with the stock market the way it's been the last couple of months, their earnings have come, ebbs and flows. But with real estate, in the long term, I'm always going to talk anything long term with real estate. It's the safest, most secure way to invest. I truly believe that.
That's amazing. Any encouragement from anybody? They're like, yo, you got to go see these guys, this Fortune Builder thing. Like, did you know people in real estate before you got into it?
No, absolutely. Like I said, no. What happened was I was turning 40, big 40, and I was coming at the fork of the road. I was a nurse, but I was was looking to go back to school for more nursing. And, so I would have invested some sort of money into education. Okay, so let's just get that out the way. And then scrolling through Facebook, I see this ad for fortune builders. Never heard of it, never even like thought about it. And then I saw the speech, come on for 2 hours, come over and we'll show you, the 2 hour pitch that they have. And then they kind of upsell you to the weekend. Okay, safe to say I did the 2 hours. I said, you know what, this makes sense. Again, makes sense to me. Let me go pay a couple $100, go to the weekend just to learn a little bit more about it. Right. Not knowing how much that whole investment was going to be at the end. And a lot of people to this day, are shocked at the amount that we invested for our education. Right. Well,
let me stop you right there, because that's a really good point. So when people go to like an institution, right, a college, brick and mortar, let's use Harvard for example. I got a full ride. I got a full scholarship to Harvard. I'm only kidding.
I was about to say, you got me. I was like, what? You did? Nice.
You're like, what's that now? So, when people think of like Ivy League schools, they think big money, right? Mm-hmm. So, when I see these people out there and, look, some of my classes aren't a lot of money, right? The mentorship, costs a couple bucks. But if you're going to invest money in something that you're passionate about, right, and you want to learn, two things happen. One, you're going to have the desire to get the money that you put back out there. You want it back, right? And you want to get the knowledge. So I feel like if you don't have something invested, you don't have some type of stake in it or investing in yourself, then you're not going to be serious about it. I know the numbers that they charge. You've been doing it for 2.5 years. Have you recouped your money?
Yes. So this is one thing that, again, when it comes to these people that just get caught up with the amount of that investment, I'll be honest, it was a $35,000 investment. Okay. That's a lot of money. Not a lot of people just have that. But at the same time, as I kind of mentioned earlier, I was going to go back to school for nursing.
Right.
Which was going to be an investment of $50,000 for me to, again, for the future, obviously have better salary and things like that. For a better future, I was going to invest in schooling. But I took this, but people don't look at this as schooling.
Right.
You know what I mean? In the last 2 years, I've met plenty of people that have just tried to do it on their own, go to RIA meetings and try to tackle this business and learn it at the same time just by themselves. And it's doable. I'm not saying it's not by any stretch of the imagination. This can be done completely free, but I also don't think that the speed of your growth and learning as a business won't be the same.
Right.
So what we paid for in tuition, we kind of recouped in how fast we feel our growth is in this industry.
Mm-hmm. So basically, you got started. You saw an ad on Facebook, and then I guess you reached out to your partner and you said, "Hey, do you want to go?" Or did you meet him there?
No, not even. So this whole $35,000 investment, I had gone by myself. I never talked to him about it. Something I did on my own. Went to the weekend, $35,000. Didn't even tell my wife that it was $35,000. But
$3,500.
No, not at all. Without even telling her a dollar amount, I got her to agree that this course of action is the best for our family. Safe to say, later on when she found out how much it was, she was a little bit shocked. But this was after the fact, right?
Right.
But it was for me. I was gonna invest by myself, and then all of a sudden, when I'm already signed up, I already always thought of Lyndon as my a private money lender. He's got a good job and things like that. So I said, listen, he'll be a perfect candidate for private money. Yeah. And so one night, when I'm just getting started, very excited, like everybody else getting started, and he saw the kind of the vision that I had, and he was like, you know what? Why don't we work together? Like, background on me and Don, we've known each other for a long time, like 18 years pretty much. I always call him like he's my brother. But with this side of it, I didn't expect that he would want to jump in, but luckily I think he'll tell you the same, that he's glad that he kind of jumped on board. And right now, me and him, is all we do is real estate related. All our visions, all the things we talk about is real estate. and that was
Right.
2 years ago only. You know.
That's amazing. So, in a 2 year span, a 2.5 span that you guys been, in real estate, doing it, do you know how many houses you've actually renovated and actually
Yeah.
turned for?
So, as I mentioned, we just sold. We're supposed to close on our third house in
Mhm.
Bergenfield tomorrow. They're doing the final walkthrough, so that's our third one that's off the books. We have one in Kearney that's delayed, but it's going to be should be at the market in about 2 months, hopefully,
Mhm.
if Kearney ever cooperates. And we're about to literally on Monday break ground on our fifth one. So it's not a lot. This by any stretch of the
When you say
imagination,
break
this is not
ground,
a lot.
you're actually building houses too?
No. This is going to be an at a level. We're doing a real at a level. The other ones we've done, we've added kind of square footage by doing dormers front or back, but this one is a complete at a level. Big boys at a level.
So are you guys the GCs on the job?
Yeah. So in the last 2 years, having dealt with the headaches of general contractors, and we basically have decided, and I think it's for the best course of action, is we're going to start GCing all our subs. Not only is it saving us money, it gives us literally much better control of timeline and costs.
Do you guys ever lend out your subs to people that you guys do business with? Do you refer them to other people as well?
I have no problems with that. I can only really refer one sub for now, but the ones that we're working with in this fifth project seem promising. I have no problems sharing resources with anybody if I feel that they would be good. Unfortunately, the ones that we've used in the past, I can't vouch for the work. The work was done, but we had to kind of stay on top of them. You don't want, if I was going to get a referral from somebody and I got somebody that had to babysit and things like that, I wouldn't appreciate that so much, right?
Unfortunately, your general contractor is a different terminology than a contractor. If you think of the word contractor, you think of the word con man.
I've never thought about that, but it seems like it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is the case.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with many of the con men
The
in the
contractors.
in the industry. But there are people out there that are kind enough to, offer, and there's obviously a very supportive community, at least in New Jersey area, where that if you come from, a place of good and you're doing right, and you've never really screwed anybody over with bad intentions, you'll be able to get referral, which is great. But it's kind of like, you do dirty somebody once, they're not going to want to do business with you ever again, unfortunately.
No. A lot of people don't realize how really small this community is.
So small.
It's crazy. Like I would have never thought that 2 years ago this is a kind of an underground. A lot of people don't realize that how active real estate is, but
Yeah.
there's very few players. You kind of know who the players are, and
Right.
if you do one person, like you said, dirty, it'll get passed down. Everybody will know about it. So we've always come from the place that we do business where with integrity. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have a story later on in one of my videos I'm gonna post about how I ended up giving an owner back money just because it was extra. I could have kept it for myself, but
I would have taken the money. I'm not going to lie. You're like, yo, Matt, I got an extra money. All right, cool. We'll bring it over in a lunch bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that wasn't me. I couldn't sleep. My heart was heavy. You know what I mean? It really was. I think it was a test for me to see if I would do the right thing. And people are gonna call me crazy. Believe me, it's a ridiculous amount that I get back.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter whether it was $1 or whether it was $50,000. It's all about karma. So
Absolutely.
I'm all about the karma. People looked at me, thought I was nuts when I decided to go in a completely different direction in my quest, and showing homeowners that they need to know, they should really know their options. And speaking with people that have actually taken, my classes. You came to the boot camp, right?
I did. That's where we first met.
Right. And obviously there's additional classes that we offer, and I don't push it on people. I look at it as like, look, if you got a firm understanding or grasp of how the industry works, that's great. But go ahead.
I don't know if you remember what I told you after that weekend. I said, listen, this is great stuff. But one thing I've learned that if something comes across my plate that's sub 2, I'll go, here's Matt's information.
Oh, I appreciate that.
that was what I got out of that weekend. I'm like, you know what? I'll let Matt take care of it.
No, I appreciate that. You know, and I do get a lot of that. And, you know, people like, why would I want to learn additional information? Why would I want to learn, you know, the ins and outs that you guys know? If you guys know it, why not do it? What I tell people is that, you know, you might only have one opportunity to speak with somebody on the telephone. One opportunity. And if you don't say the right thing, or if you don't say it the right way, you know, like some people are like, and some of the people that I coach, I hear them on the phone and then we role play. I'm like, that sounded fucking horrible. Like, you know, you have to come at people that are in distress almost like they're losing a loved one. They're
gonna lose that house.
Losing a house. They're losing an area where they're coming in to lay down their head at night. It's supposed to be a safe haven. It's supposed to be, an area where they can relax, where their kids can go in their rooms at night and sleep. So having that type of stress, you have to try to. It's almost like you're a therapist. And
I think that's the best approach, though.
What's that?
It's got to be the approach of you're there to help them out. You're giving them options. That's one thing that I've kind of changed in my approach. Instead of I'm not out there trying to buy houses. I've kind of put in my head that I'm there to solve problems, right? I'm not there to buy houses. So if I can help somebody out, give them options, just like the way you said, you draw it out for them, what their options are, what could possibly happen.
Yeah.
That's the most you could do, you know. And you know, some of these people unfortunately don't have that information. So
not only do they not have the information, they don't have the guidance. And the majority of the people on the distress side of it, they bury their head so far deep in the sand, so that when it actually comes time for something to happen, they panic. And then they're like, oh my God, I'm losing my house. And then unfortunately, you know, we'll get phone calls after we've spoken with people 6 months earlier, and then they want help. And I'm like, well, what stage are you in the process? Well, we have noticed on our front door that the sheriff is coming to evict us. You know,
what can you do?
Did you already go to sale? Yeah. Well, there's nothing I could do at that point. But you said you could help. Yeah, I could have helped back
6 months ago. 6 months ago.
Now you're coming to me now. It's not going to work. So a couple of questions I want to get into that I definitely want to cover with you.
Sure.
What advice, of any, are you going to give, or do you give people that are new in investing and or that are getting started? Like, you paid a tremendous amount of money and you got started. You got your money back. You obviously get your dividends off of it, and obviously you have something to move forward. What would you say to somebody who's new in the industry now, where they're going to have an opportunity to buy property, fresh real estate, in the next 6 months to a year, and get a reasonable discount? What would you say to somebody?
First, I would say is you've got to look at this long term. You can't just be short-sighted with your goals and these things, where if you don't meet a certain amount of houses, or if you don't make this much dollars in the house, you've got to look at this long term. I've always said the last 2 years for us has been our foundation of learning, but we also know for a fact, and this isn't braggadocious, I'm just saying for a fact that we know 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we'll be in this business in a different capacity, but we will be in the real estate business.
Right.
Okay. So first, you got to look at it long term, not short term gains. Okay. And secondly, focus on one thing. There's, like I said, there's so many, as you know, short sales. There's so many different venues to invest. Pick kind of one and master it. If you're going to go out.
So you're saying don't be a jack of all trades, master of none. You're saying master one, and obviously,
then move on.
Well, you got a partner, so you and your partner, you guys, you know your realms, you work, and obviously, you're working together. You said you've known him for 18 years.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Where'd you guys meet?
He's actually a college friend of my wife. So they've been friends since they were in the Philippines.
Okay.
And I met my wife here in New York, and that's how we got connected. And we're pretty much, like I said, been attached to the hip since we've lived together in the same places, and
Do you ever have that? Did you ever have that weird conversation, the odd conversation, like, "Yo, you guys ever hook up?"
No. That didn't even cross my mind, bro. Where did that come from? No, not at all. They always say they're like brothers and sisters. So
then it would just be weird. Then
that would just be gross. So
then that would be disgusting.
It is. I don't condone that. Asians don't condone that.
Got you. Well, anybody with half a brain wouldn't condone that. But I get what you're saying. Listen, my shows are very entertaining. Obviously, I like to joke around with my guests. I said I was going to make you look like a rock star, and you're like, "Yo, did you say rock star or a porn star?" It's rock star. It's
a star, some sort of star. I'll take it. I'll take whatever star it is.
In front of it, that doesn't make a difference. So, I mean, that's good insight. People that learning a craft. Mastering the craft. Obviously, you guys are mastering your craft with the buying of the houses, the flipping the houses, whatever. I'd love to talk to you and Don about marketing to distressed real estate in the next couple of days, and show you maybe an opportunity that you never really thought of. Because at least, and I'm not looking to train you guys unless you want to be trained, but to understand that aspect of it, it's like a light bulb goes off, and people are like, "Oh my God, I never thought of that." So, yeah, no, I do agree with you that, new investors looking to get started in the industry really should pick one thing, learn it, and master it. And then, you have these people that are out there, and I'm not going to name names.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. They do one deal, they're a master. Or they do one day trade. They have one successful day of day trading, and they're a miracle worker. They've done one campaign on marketing on Facebook, and now all of a sudden they're gurus in marketing. So when somebody says to me, "Matt, you're a guru. You're somebody that people look up. You're a pillar in the community and distressed real estate and short sales," I'm that guy. I get up in the morning. I put my pants on the same way every other person puts their pants on. I just have more experience, in my side of the business. 15 years is a long time to be in that type of industry, and I never really ventured outside of it.
Well, you kind of established yourself as the expert,
right? I don't mind being an expert. I don't like the word guru, because when I hear guru, then I'm like, oh my God,
it's such a bad connotation. Guru. Here's my take on it. There's nothing wrong with gurus. Yeah. If somebody is willing to, people's time is worth something. In the beginning, when I was starting out, I was always offering people, "Hey, can I take you out for coffee?" And and obviously the veteran guys are like, "I'm busy, I really don't have time to," which I now understand, right? Their time is valuable, and if the newer guys, pay whatever it is, but make sure that it's somebody that you can trust. Make sure that it's somebody that has proven that they can do it.
Right.
I absolutely have nothing wrong with paying somebody, having a mentor.
Right.
Those things that people think, "Oh man, you could learn everything yourself." You can, but why not leverage, let's say, for example, someone like yourself, someone who knows the industry in and out.
Right.
Whether you've got to pay extra. Like I said, gurus get a bad rap.
Right.
I don't see anything wrong. Just hearing the word guru, people kind of get turned off.
Yeah.
I don't. I really don't. They're a resource. Some resource you got to pay for, some you don't.
Well, one of the funniest things that I remember, and I still hear it a lot. Well, I know what you charge, but why don't we do this? Let's do a deal together, right? I'll learn, and if the deal closes, I'll pay you. First of all, if we're working on a deal together, that deal's closing.
Yeah.
It's not a what if. So right there, to me, that makes it seem like that person's not going to be a student. They're not going to be teachable because they already have the negative mindset. So
mindset. It's all mindset, bro.
It really is all mindset. So what's your vision? Where do you see you and Don, over the next 5 years?
I always kind of describe it as like 2 years ago, we were infants. Now we're babies starting to walk a little bit.
Right.
getting our footing. So we're very brand new still. I'm you know, that's nothing new, but we see ourselves in 5 years. Ideally, is just having a portfolio. That's the one thing everybody wants to have, is a portfolio, whether it's
Right.
single family,
Right.
multifamily, buildings. The end goal for any investor, well, I'm not going to say any investor, a lot of investors, is to have
Right.
a portfolio for cash flow.
If I was to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't have given out as much free time as I had to people that wanted to learn the industry. I would have focused more on the portfolio. I would have focused more on family life. I would have focused more on,
Oh,
you
you
know,
have a good time with your kids, bro. I see you.
no, I mean I do, but I work very odd hours. Like sometimes I have the luxury. I'll get out of bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, but maybe the night before I worked until 5 o'clock in the morning, working on a presentation. Obviously I'm trying to finish my book, trying to get this online course set up and done right, because I want to do everything from A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
And
You want to be hands-on.
well, I'm going to break it. I'm going to break it into packages, because not everybody wants to learn everything. So why should you have to pay to learn everything?
Mm-hmm.
People may only want to learn like one aspect of it. So I want to give it people like a la carte.
Gotcha.
Some of my friends are in the industry are like, dude, just blow out the course and sell it at one price. But what if I'm going to turn away somebody because they don't want to know everything and they just want to know one aspect of it?
Absolutely.
And you click on it, right? And then it will give you I don't
Option.
know, give you an option of whatever it is that you want to learn, or just learn the whole thing. I think that's better. I do things a little.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Just because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to want to do that. So in 5 years from now, you guys see with a portfolio. Do you ever see or feel that? I see you have older children. Are your kids? Do they have any interest in getting into the business?
They like seeing the finished product. They like seeing the finished product, but no such interest yet. But I told my daughter, my oldest daughter, she likes computers and she likes math. So I said, one day I brought over plans from the architect. I go,
Right.
Listen, guess how much this piece of paper cost me?
Mhm.
She's like, I don't know, a couple $100. I'm like, our architect drew up these plans in 3 days, and it cost us $5,000.
Right.
And she was like, what? I'm like, yeah. So I'm planting it in their head. I'm not pushing. The one thing I give these kids is just freedom to kind of think on their own, but with guidance. But
Yeah.
obviously, I'm showing them everything. It doesn't have to be real estate. It really doesn't. It's just work for yourself. Find a business that you're passionate about and get after it.
Right.
Real estate is just one part, but there's so many different things that I've never talk about money in my house.
Right.
I never do. It's just not an issue that I like to teach. I just say, listen, if you work hard enough, just make sure that you're working at something that you love, because then it's not work. Like you said, working until 4 o'clock in the morning. A lot of people would be like, oh my God, but if it's for your business, I'm sure you don't mind doing it. You've got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
as an entrepreneur, there's totally different mindset.
Absolutely.
The 9 hour or the 8 hour or whatever it is, that's irrelevant. I could work one day 2-3 hours or an hour, and then the next day I could work 12 hours.
Yep.
Or whatever it is. I don't really put a timestamp on it. I know my kids are like, Dad, like you live in your office, but that's the lab. That's where, all the creative shit goes down in there. Now it's nice weather, so, I'm going to be out of my depth.
How about your kids? Are they following the footsteps?
I think that my younger one, we joke around. We're not really sure what he's going to be. He's very intelligent. He definitely has a mind. He could be a doctor, an attorney, maybe an assassin. Who the hell knows? He's only 11. I know he's good at Fortnite.
Hey, did you see that kid that made how many $1 million from Fortnite?
No, but he was telling me about it, and I told my wife, I said, maybe we need to rethink this whole thing because, dude, he goes into these tournaments with like
And he
100,
wins.
bro. Yeah, there's like 100 people, and he's like always in a top 5. That's 95 people out, and some of them he wins.
You can
So
make money off of that. I'm
I'm
too
like,
old to know any of that stuff, but you can
yeah,
make money off e-games. I just hear about it, but
yeah. I was like, how do we monetize it? Maybe he could buy me a Ferrari. I don't know.
like I said, 1 point something million a kid won a tournament.
That's
It was definitely in the millions
how old
for
was?
playing video games. I think he was like 16 years old or something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's gonna try to what's it called? Emancipate himself from his parents.
Yeah, mom and dad are getting a piece of that. You
Yeah,
told me to stop playing video games.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So it's rethinking of it. But no, I think the video gaming world has completely changed.
Oh,
Since
compared to our time, forget it.
I got almost 10 years on you. So think about the technology that was back then and the technology you had. Then I have friends in their mid 30s, right? And even like the Snapchats, the instant message, the Twitters and all that other nonsense. Technology always grows. That's why people are always like, Matt, what are you going to show me in short sales that I don't already know? Well, you remember the first iPhone when it first came out? Yeah, it was pretty badass, right? Which iPhone you got now? Oh, I got the 11. I got the 11. Well, because the 11 has extra
better.
Upgrades. Okay, well, there you go. You get to learn how to be more proficient or whatever. So your 5-year plan, where you see your company is, you're looking to do buy and hold, and I'm assuming educate your family on on real estate, which is pretty good. Let's talk a little bit about, you were talking about how you want to show people when it comes to financial literacy. Are you talking about in general, or are you talking about real estate? What's going on?
No, just in general. There's one thing I've learned, and I'm very guilty of this. Prior to getting into this journey about real estate, we had our 401ks. Never paid attention to them. The only time we kind of decided anything was when you first started work. What kind of risk do you want? High risk, medium risk, or low risk?
Right.
That was it. That was the only thought that ever went into 401ks.
Right.
Every quarter you check, did I make money or not? It was never consistent, but it was just something that we never focused in. And I find that talking to a lot of people now, they also don't do this. A lot of people don't pay attention to these things. And that's my goal that I've kind of set for myself, is try to teach people as many people as I can, and not even to invest in real estate. That would be good if we get into business together, but just know kind of the power of your money.
Right.
Because your future, your retirement depends on what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And I'm focusing on people obviously around my age, because I can relate. And first question I always say is, 25 years from now, what kind of retirement are you picturing for yourself?
Right.
They don't most people don't even have an answer for that.
I was gonna say, what did he say to you?
Yeah, they don't, they're like, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? What kind of lifestyle? Like, when you say retirement, people just don't give it any thought and just hope and cross their fingers that they've had enough saved up that they can live on these things, right? So that's the biggest kind of misconception that I've got to kind of break in people's minds, is you've got to take action now for you to reap the benefits in the future. If you put your 401k, God forbid, anything that's making less than 8%, you're losing money. People don't realize you are losing money. The potential earnings that you could be making, and if you're just not smart enough, financially literate enough to put it in the right vehicle, you're losing money. And it's hundreds and thousands of dollars that people could be losing.
You ever follow Dan Zatowski?
I do.
So he
part of his course, part of his group. Yep.
There you go. So people, they talk about financial literacy and stuff like that. One of the things that he wanted to do was he wanted to be able to offer some type of classes for schools to teach.
That I wish this was the stuff that they teach our kids. I truly, truly do. I don't care about trigonometry. I don't care about Pythagorean theorem, right? I care about that my kids understand compound interest.
Mm-hmm.
That is the most powerful thing.
My son is taking a class called financial literacy.
Okay, in high school.
Yeah, in high school, yeah,
Okay, nice.
as a junior. So I like the fact that they're offering that type of stuff at the school.
Did you have that at your time?
No,
Me neither.
no,
I didn't have that shit. Oh, sorry. Uh,
you said it.
yeah. But no, so that's good at least. At least they're kind of incorporating it. And so it kind of all depends now. Financial literacy almost has to come from home. Has to come from your parents to kind of
Right,
instill this stuff to their kids, right?
right.
So that's the biggest thing really that I just want to expose people and let people know. You know, you have options with your money. Be smart about it because you're losing out. Your future self, you're kind of um how should I say it? You're doing yourself a disservice by not taking action now and being financially literate.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know that my son is doing his best with the course. Obviously, not being in school and being a home environment, you have to teach yourself, you have to learn. They're
Did you
relying
have to do you have to jump in there and show them what's up?
on the financial literacy.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit, but I gotta tell you, some of the stuff they cover, I'm like, what's that now? You know,
You don't need to know that.
no, because it's really I think that growing up, in my era, because I'm almost 50 years old. My parents were like, you go to college, you get good grades, or at least you get grades, so you can go to college.
Pass. Don't fail.
Right. Well, I got D's, so D's for me were D. I was like D's, D's for diploma.
That's what you're striving for.
That was it. So which is okay. Was my brother did really good in school, went to college, got a job. And people are at the mindset where you get a job, retire with big company, get your pension, your 401k.
Save. Yeah.
But I mean, look, there's a lot of companies that got wiped out over the last 20 years because of economy issues, and people lost their 401ks, they lost their pensions, thought they were doing the right thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, look,
It's scary.
I think college is bad? No. I think if you're going to go to college for something that you're going to want to learn what you want to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, maybe you don't want to go away to like Boston University. Maybe you want to take 2 years, go to a school
Yeah.
in-state school and get the foundation of where you want to be. And then
100%. 100% with you there.
and then explore your options. And if school isn't for you, college, that's not for everybody. A lot of
It's not.
entrepreneurs, some never even passed high school.
Yeah.
So, but I do think that you should have some type of education. I obviously want my kids, to go to college. I didn't go to college. My wife went to college. So, when it comes time, they have questions, whatever. And they're like, who's in the hallway? And I'm like, Dad, oh, I got a question. Hold on. Mary.
Somebody else got to answer it.
Question. Because you don't want to ask Dad, because Dad's, in my opinion, is a little bit different than everybody else, whether it's right or wrong. But
No, well, that's one thing I wholeheartedly agree with you. This is something that me and my wife 100% disagree on, which is college.
yeah,
I do not think that's the only path or route to take to success.
did she go to college?
She did. I went to college as well, so we both went to college.
Well, I
but
hope so. Well, I mean, you're a nerd.
yeah. So the big thing was, especially with our culture, Filipinos, college is kind of if you don't go, you're a disappointment to your parents. My generation, at least, it's like that. Yeah, you're very educationally focused because that's the only I thought they had to kind of build stability or whatnot or wealth or whatnot. It's go to college, get a good job, go to obviously, and then. But me, I really don't think that that's what measures success, right?
No.
Your hourly wage doesn't measure success. If you are happy, this is the one thing I stress to my kids: find something that you're happy to do.
Yeah, no.
Bottom line.
How old are your kids?
14 and 10. 2 girls. Girl dad, bro. You don't have that problem.
I mean, I really did want to have a little daughter. I would like the idea of going shopping with them and stuff like that. Is that why you don't have any hair left in your head?
I'm pre-planning for the teenage years, bro. Yeah. So I can't stress enough that everything that I've learned these last few years, more than anything, is just more to not only set myself up, but my kids as well. And it's not only just about teaching them about real estate. It's about teaching them about money and teaching them about their options. And I'll be the first one in my family to say you don't have to go to college. My wife, the first time I said that, she lost her mind.
Mm-hmm. You actually had that conversation without actually like deferring to her first before actually.
Yeah. No, that's not how we do it. It's just a conversation.
And you still got and you still have your balls.
I do. See, the one thing about my wife is, if you pour enough logic in there, if it makes sense, she'll eventually catch on. I don't do anything stupid, right? I would think I'm pretty intelligent, but logic always wins out for me.
Understood. I want to ask you, what would you think your biggest challenge right now, since you started your journey personally 2 years ago? What would be the biggest challenge you could think of?
Challenge is just not having the time. I think that we could have progressed a little better in this business if I could kind of throw in my whole, instead of having a 9-to-5 job, if I kind of full board jumped into this business, I think we would be a little more polished, a little bit far along. But again, not to take away from the fact that we did this kind of the last 2.5 years with full-time jobs, but it's in the works to kind of move forward as full-time on this in this business. That's the goal.
It's funny you say you both have full-time jobs, and huge shout out to you guys, because I love when people are like, how am I going to start a different career? How am I going to have a part-time job? How am I going to? There's so much extra time during a day, other than the 9-to-5, that people could do stuff. Like I catch myself now, like if I'm working, and it's like 2:30 in the afternoon. I mean, here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I don't know.
Yeah, nice.
I'll do conference calls. I'll do training calls. From the lab.
But you've built that luxury though. But all the work that you did the last 15 years gives you the luxury to do that. Doesn't mean you're not working.
No.
Doesn't mean you're not working. You're just working for yourself.
It's a different form, and I know that like my kids see like what daddy does, and they're like, I want to do what dad does. My 11-year-old doesn't really know what I do. He does, but he doesn't. My 17-year-old knows what I do, and he's like, well, what if I want to go to college, and what if I want to get into some type of law enforcement, and I want to work with you? Awesome. I encourage that. Don't rely on mommy and daddy.
That's like the one thing that I don't want them to do.
Yeah, they got to find their own way.
Exactly.
It's amazing, because my 11-year-old's like, Dad, can I buy something? It's $10. Yeah, I'll get no problem. 4 hours later, Dad, I gotta get this thing. It's $25. I gotta get it. I'm like, you gotta get it? He's like, I gotta get it. I'm like, you gotta go upstairs to your piggy bank, give me $25, hand it to me, and then you can go get whatever the hell you want. Just $25. He's like, wait, I gotta pay you for that? Yeah.
Guess what? He doesn't need it.
I'm like, oh,
turns out.
So now you don't need it now.
Yeah. Right.
I want skis.
Yep. Exactly. It's the value of money, man. It's my kids are like, hey, can we go to Starbucks? I'm like, okay, give me some money. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's $15 to go get some coffee. I'll go buy it. You have money. And like, nah, it's okay. We'll just go to Dunkin'.
Yeah, that's funny. 100%. Something that's actually a good point. Where people want Starbucks coffee at Dunkin' Donuts pricing.
That's right.
Right?
Even my kids know that now at this point.
Absolutely. So if people want to reach out to you, I'm going to give them the cell number and email address. Basically, they could reach out to you directly at 551-800-1202. 551-800-1202. And you could reach out. And
that's my email. Yep.
And your email, which is So it's your first name, which is Ruel. How do you pronounce it?
Ruel.
Ruel. I always want to say Raphael. Ruel at bnthomes.com. Ruel at bnthomes.com. They could reach out to you. Probably the best way to reach you would probably be through text message.
Text messaging. Yeah, for anybody that's just interested, not only about the business or, I'm not a veteran by any stretch of the imagination, but I do have some answers, even for those newer investors. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to answer. And if I can't, I'll get somebody that have the answer for you.
There's a lot of people that are in this industry that are all me, right? And what's in it for me? What's in it for me? I see your posts. People have a lot of nice things to say about you. I know Natalie and Casey think the world of you.
Love those girls. Working on our closing as we speak.
See, there you go. So I got my ear to the pavement. I know what's going on out there. And it's important to surround yourself not only from the construction side, or you have people out there like Michelina killing it. In the staging side of it, I know you have a high regard for her. I know she likes you a lot.
She did one project for us already. Yeah.
The other avenue of it is the legal aspect of it, and then you have the financial aspect of it, and then there's the home inspection side of it, and there's the accounting side of it. So there's a lot of information that goes into doing these types of things when you're getting involved in real estate. And I think that most people see these shows on TV, these HGTV shows, and they're like,
so hey, easy, right?
You know what? With commercials, these guys are killing it in 16 minutes. I can do that.
Yeah.
The reality is that is not the reality. I love when they go in, they look at 3 houses, and they're like, "Are we going to go bid on this house?" I mean, come on. We already know you got the house already. And it's like, hey, we did our walkthrough. We had to get a permits, and then like 3 minutes later, they're doing the demo. Oh, that was easy.
That was easy. The town just gave it to me. They must not be working in Kearney then, because it doesn't happen that way. Does not happen that way. But again, that's why there's an influx of all these investors, right? They see those shows. It's not reality. It really isn't.
No, it isn't. It is not reality. And I know that some of these flippers, professional hosts, or whatever the hell you want to call them now, some of them actually got lawsuits against them because of giving out, inappropriate or unattainable goals to people. I think that. And I believe now that there's a lot of different paperwork that you have to sign as far as like disclosures, so you don't get sued. And I think even with disclosures, you're going to get sued anyway, because people are going to be like, hey, you know what? I went and knocked on a door and it didn't work.
Yeah, give me my money back. Yeah, give me my
money back.
Yeah.
And I think that's a horrible way of looking at this type of business. And I think that the majority of people that are in our industry, in our space, in our state, are full of shit. They don't have the proper training. They don't want to go for the training. They don't believe in themselves. My thing is, if you don't believe in yourself, to go for additional training, and just because you don't get a certificate, or just because you don't get, a diploma,
yeah,
it doesn't mean that you're not getting the education aspect of it.
Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not.
You don't go back and sue your college
because you didn't get a job.
Because you didn't get a job. You don't sue your college because you committed armed robbery or whatever. It's like the stuff. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ! You go to Starbucks, on the straw, it literally says this straw is not intended to be used with heat.
Yeah,
shit like that. Like, there's a warning on it. Like, if you don't put it on that straw,
you're gonna get sued. Yep,
you get sued.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Hold on a second. I ate a Pop-Tart the other night, and the Pop-Tart was in the oven too long.
Exploded.
And I put it in my mouth, and the inside of it literally stuck to the inside of my lip. and I could feel my lip burning. I didn't contact the podcast people and say, yo, I'm suing you guys because I burned the inside of my lip. But unfortunately, that's the mentality that we're in. So you have to try what you say to people.
It's crazy. One last thing I want to say, like, Fortune Builders is a huge investment, right?
Yeah.
A huge investment. This is a problem not only with that, it's just in general. 80% of people that sign up, 80% never do one deal. You know why? It's because they think that they're given this plate of deals. They don't realize it's the education. It's up to you to take the steps. It's up to you to implement. People think that it's just because you pay for a guru that, hey, houses are going to come flowing in, right? They don't realize that is work. It really is work. You've got it.
So it's 80. It's that high. 80%.
Is that high? Yeah. As you know, but in the RIAs and anything like that, there's a ton of people that show up. Only a couple of them will actually take steps to do it.
Well, there's professional people that go to these RIAs, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same people, and they've been coming for years. And you ask them, hey, have you got? No, I almost got a deal. And it's like, dude, you've been coming here for 10 years. And I don't mean to make fun.
No.
Go get a mentor. And if you have a deal, look, I tell people all the time, look, you got a distressed seller, you want me to talk to them? Put me in the hot seat. Mm-hmm. Let me talk to the distressed seller. I'm going to have a better chance at bonding with them on the telephone than you are when you physically go there and turn them off because you're showing up.
You don't know what you're doing.
We're showing up with paperwork for them to sign away their house. Or I have people that, I took so-and-so's class and it shows me how I can get the deed to somebody's house. And I don't have to fill in the information on the deed. I could fill that out when I go to resell it. I'm like, dude, I don't even know if I would visit you in prison.
In jail. Yeah.
So there's a lot of people out there that are showing people the wrong way, entry level, to get into the industry, which unfortunately, it's not fair. It's not nice.
But they don't know any better.
They don't know any better. But the people that are teaching them, and they're teaching them in
how to do it. Yeah.
They know what they're doing. You can't say you don't know what you're doing.
That's why it's important for you to kind of really vet the people that you're going to work with.
100%.
Yeah.
Ask people, hey, does this person know what they're doing? Hey, have you ever done a deal? Do you know anybody that's ever done a deal with this person? I tell people all the time, like, agents are blown away because they're like, wait, I don't get it. You're telling this person to Google your name. You're telling them to research your company. You say, hey, if you're on Facebook, go on Facebook. Hey, has anybody ever done business with Matt Marinoff before? Why not?
Yeah.
You get in front of anything that's out there and say, yeah, I might have had a problem with this. I might have had a problem with that. Thank God I've never had any real major issues that it's ever been publicized where issues will be able to be settled. We have a transaction right now in Florida, and their very good friend is telling them, no, they live in Florida with transactions in New Jersey. We do transactions, obviously, in Florida, to distance themselves from what is being offered as far as a short sale. A short sale is illegal.
What? They said that?
Yeah. It's like, what?
Oh, God, everybody's cousin or, is an expert. My cousin's attorney, it's never going to be. It's people that are giving them advice that don't know what they're talking about. That's a big problem. And this kind of with a lot of these sellers that don't know any better, right? Somebody they once told them said, hey, you can't do that. So in their head, you can't do it.
Well, they're taking advice from people that, and again, might work on a dock, running a forklift, might run a crane, might be a doctor, might work in a fast food restaurant, might be retired, might be an ex-IRS employee, might have been an accountant. I mean, the list goes on. And it's like, do you go to your hairstylist, your barber, and you ask him for financial advice? It's like, why would you do the things that you do to get to where you're at? Like when you purchase a vehicle, right? You can negotiate the price in the car. But I mean, like, my wife used to tell me a story. When she went to a car dealership, she started hugging the car. I'm like,
that's it. You're paying full price.
price. You know, you got to go in it like, no, I don't really need it. And you know what? Honestly, we always have a spare car. So if a lease comes up, or if we want to get a new car and we have to turn the car back in, oh, but you're not gonna have a car. No, I got a spare car at the house. I don't need the car. You need to sell. I don't need the car.
Yeah, you need to sell it. So
And this
I'm here to help you out.
you know what's scary is there's a huge difference. There's a lot in the car industry that people don't talk about. I mean, I've gotten car payments $65, $75 less by going to different car dealerships, which is kind of scary because they're all working off the same thing.
Yeah.
But they have that, what is the repertoire of being a sleazy car dealer or car salesman. And then there's a lot of people out there that are true professionals that are really good at it. So I try to tend to hang with people that are true professionals.
Yep. That know the business.
Absolutely. I like the fact that that you'd come to the boot camp last year. I did not remember you saying that if you did come across something that you would send our way. I think that it's time now that I know that you guys are so well vested in the industry that that we do a call between Don, you, and me, try to find out what's available out there, especially in the areas that you guys want to buy. It's not hard to find these transactions and these deals. It's how to communicate with the homeowner, let them know what their options are. Sometimes people just need to know as a homeowner, they can't afford their house. Like, I don't have a job. Okay. Are you going to get a job? I'm going to Social Security, but I'm only going to make a third of what I used to make. Can't keep your house. Oh, okay. It's like that simple. Or you have people that had really bad taste in their mouth because they had issues with a real estate agent or an investor
previous investor, somebody that couldn't do anything,
couldn't do anything, or they tried to do something. That's why I don't particularly like wholesalers with real estate that's distressed, because what if they don't buy it?
Yeah,
they can't
perform.
Yeah, if you don't buy it, what's going to happen? Oh, they deserve what they get. Yeah. Like if I said how many people said they deserve what they get, and I actually said their names on social media, people's jaws would drop because
wow,
that person would say that.
That's totally against your stance. People first, right? People before profits.
Exactly. And people that don't know me, that reach out to me and I get instant message on Facebook, hey, look at your profile, can we talk? And I kind of like feel them out, and I want to know what's their stance on trying to help people. Listen, I get everybody wants to make money. I'm all for making money, but there's a way to do it.
You can do it. Yep, you can do that.
You just gave an example how you gave a homeowner money back. Now, when you gave the money back to the homeowner, did you consult that with your wife first?
Oh, my wife had nothing to do with it, but she heard about it after, and she was like, "Good for you."
Good for you. She said, "Good for you."
Yeah.
She didn't hit you in the head or anything.
No, man. It's not like that. We have a different household. That was a $30,000 lesson for my kids about integrity.
You gave a homeowner back $30,000.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
You're a good dude, man.
I like to think so. I'm gonna get into it in a video on exactly how I lost 30. Not lost, but you could say it's a loss because it was in my pocket, but I decided to give it back to him. Right. But more than anything, like I told you,
you 1099 him?
No, it wasn't that. It was a homeowner that we had just purchased a property. We negotiated a great price, and he had thought that his remaining mortgage was a bigger amount than what it really was. So we based it on a bigger amount on our offer. We came back. It was $25,000 less than what he thought it was, and I could have kept that $25,000, right? He wouldn't have known. He was happy.
What was his response?
He was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I called him. I'm like, "Listen, I have good news for you. Let me just come by later." And he was getting ready to go. I was like, "Listen, how would you like an extra 2 years of payments?" He's like, "What do you mean?" I go, "I just found out from your mortgage company that what you thought you owed is a lot less." Mm-hmm. And I told him, like, "Listen, I don't have to give this to you. I could have kept this in my pocket. You would have never known." And this guy was so overjoyed. I couldn't even say, he's retiring, and he could have used the money, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe it would have been a different story if this is a guy that didn't need money. But right. I truly felt that night that I found out that his that his mortgage was a lot less, a lot of people would be jumping for joy. Like, I just scored and, I just kept an extra 25 G's in my pocket. But for me, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to keep this money. I feel bad because, I made that offer thinking I was going to pay this, but I don't have to. And so without consulting, I just called them up and say, listen, I got extra money for you. And I know 99% of people would think I'm crazy for doing that. But the 1% was my kids and my wife. When I went home, I told them, listen, this is what I just did. And my kids were like, good for you, Dad. That's the stuff that I'm teaching them now,
Bro, my 11-year-old would have killed me.
No.
My 11-year-old, he would have been like, you know how many Roblox we could have got?
Yeah.
You know how many uniforms I could have got on Fortnite?
Yep.
So that's an amazing lesson. That's cool that you're like that. And obviously that, you have a different way of thinking, and, you're a nurse. So you're nurturing, you're caring. So you have a different background, which is cool. And I have a lot of respect for that. Most people are probably listening to this going, idiot.
Yep. Idiot. This guy's an idiot.
Moron.
That's a lot more than a lot of people make on wholesales. You know what I'm saying? Those could be 2 wholesales for people.
Bro, you should get on your shirt, #idiot. And then underneath ask me why. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, as long as I can sleep at night feeling that I helped somebody out, that to me is worth more than that money. It's a different mentality for me. A lot of people, like I said, a lot of people will tell me I'm crazy for doing that.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, Ruel, I loved having you on.
Thank you.
I loved hearing a little bit about your story. Anybody that wants to reach out to you direct, obviously, I'm going to throw your phone number up here again. If you want to reach out to Ruel, you can reach him at 551-800-1202. It's 551-800-1202. You're always looking for transactions.
Yep.
You're always looking for property. So if you have something and you think that him and Don would like to take a look at it, obviously reach out to him direct. I'm not making any money on it. Guys, the whole purpose of the show at 12 o'clock is to go out there, educate people, let people know that there are other individuals out there like yourself that want to share and care and show other people that they could be nurtured in the market. During the summertime, I am cutting back the hours of the show. I know this week it was on Monday. Friday, we're not going to have an episode. Eventually, I'm going to cut it down to probably 1 or 2 days a week. But as of right now, with the pandemic and as everything opens up, I'm going to be, making the show shorter as far as, Monday through Friday. So next week, we're doing Tuesday through Friday. And then eventually we're going to go down to 3 days. It'll be Tuesday through Thursday. And then we'll keep doing it down to probably at least 1 day a week. We'll be doing the shows. We haven't had any of the night shows that we do on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. I'm trying to, do things, with the family. Obviously, everybody's home. Yeah. And also trying to finish my book, desperately trying to finish that. And I'm also trying to...
What's the title? Drop the title.
Well, the name of the book is actually #ShortSellSavage. And the underwording, it says Untold Stories.
Nice. So it's nonfiction.
No, it's not. It's actually it's the beginning of how I became the Short Sell Savage, and I actually open up about who I was, where I was, and how I actually became the person that I am. And
nice.
I'm really pouring my heart and soul into chapter 1 because I want people to understand who I am, why I do what I do. I don't have to do these types of shows. I don't have to do the boot camps. I don't have to do the workshops, the mass. I don't need to do any of it. And it's not really always, it's not about the money. It's about, I need to work with people that are on the same playing level as myself, because when you go out there as a dollar sign and somebody sees it as they're in distress, it's not going to work. And it makes my job a lot harder with my team. And I couldn't do these types of things if I didn't have my team working, with me. So nobody works for me. They work with me, and I think that
that's how it should be.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I change a couple of lives over the next couple of months or past months, put them in different directions, which people have actually reached out to me, which is pretty cool.
There's no better feeling.
Huge, man. Just
no better feeling
to reach out to different audiences, let them know who you are, who I am, cross-reference. How many people are you friends with on Facebook? You know,
I think like 500 or something. Not a lot.
Right. So you have like 500 people, right? So I have almost 5,000 people on Facebook. So think about how many people are going to cross-reference that might see this and might reach out to you, or in my private group, which is the Short Sale 101 group. You know, I tell people all the time, go to the Short Sale 101 group. It's a free group. It's a private group. We give a ton of information on that page. We don't have to do it, but we do it because there isn't really a real community out there. And I've seen some of the stuff that's out there as far as people. We do ask that you answer the questions. If you don't answer all the questions, there's only 4 questions. If you don't answer them, you're not coming in the group.
Yeah, how hard are those questions? You plan to be honest and not, you know, it's simple question. I'm part of the group. Yeah.
Right, very simple. I think Don's part of the group too. Yeah. It's simple information. And my thinking is this: you can answer 4 simple questions, or you're going to dodge. Or you're going to dodge that last question that says that you're going to apply with the groups and rules. You're not getting in the group.
You don't want that people. You don't want that person.
I don't want it. So I would say over last month, I think we had about 150 people join the group. A lot of money, a lot of people coming in. So, and this month, I don't know where we're at. I know we had like 10 people join yesterday, which was pretty cool. So, you know, I try to install people that, you know, it's not the quantity or the quality. It's the quality that's in it. We just broke 1,400 people. We could have had easily probably a little over 3,000, 4,000 people in the group by now. But why? Why do it? It's not about that. So people are going to see me I did an education video the other day. I think we had like over 250 views on it in the private group, which, you know, to me, that's pretty good. 250, 1,400 people. That's a good percentage of people that are out there. People need to take advantage of the group if they want to learn more about short sales, and if they don't have the money. When they have the money and they want to take a class, great. They don't want to take a class, want to stay in the free group, that's cool too. You want to bring a lead to me, great. Hey, you know, maybe they see you and me on a video like this, so maybe they want to connect with you and me and say, hey, I want him to buy it. I want you to negotiate it. I'm a real estate agent. I mean, it's really not rocket science.
That would be the perfect triangle right there.
100%. It's a beautiful trifecta.
Yeah, everybody wins, man. It's just everybody. There's room for everybody to eat. Everybody wins. You don't have to screw anybody over. There's not a lack of deals out there. Just, you know, you gotta have the mentality that, you know, you're here to help somebody out, and hopefully you helping somebody out, you know, you pay back when you have a chance.
100%. And I've given back many over the years.
Yeah.
But when somebody comes to me with a sob story and says, well, I don't understand why you can't help me for free. You know what? In the beginning, it might have been like that, trying to build a name, a rapport. But I'm busy, and my time is very valuable. And if you can't value it, you just said it in the beginning about the cup of coffee.
Yep, absolutely. I jumped the fence on that one. I was the one asking for coffee in the beginning, and now I have a couple of newer people that are, you know, can we go? So I'm like, you know, you can come meet me at a site or something, and while I'm there, because I got stuff to do, but I can't, like, you know, accommodate everybody, unfortunately.
Right. I mean, listen, you got to eat.
Yeah.
A cup of coffee anywhere. You want to meet? Okay, cool. Let's meet at Ruth's Steakhouse. You can take me out to dinner, right?
Yeah, those are the kind of dinners I'll show up to.
Exactly. Listen, at the end of every one of these videos, they ask people to do the finger point.
I already have a picture, bro.
Say, all right, I got you. All right. A little shakiness going on in the finger there, though.
I got you. I got Parkinson's or something.
Do you?
My fingers, I have no idea why it's shaking like that. I'm nervous.
You better get that shit checked out, bro. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming on. And guys, again, if anybody wants to learn more about our guest today, you can reach out to them directly at 551-800-1202. Ruel, I really appreciate you coming on today. It really meant the world for you to come on. I saw you on another live with someone else, and I said, you know what? I got to get him on.
I appreciate it.
And that was last week, and you jumped on it, which I appreciate. You know what's funny? I've reached out to a couple of people, players in the industry, and I said, hey, interested in coming on? I got a lot of, I'm shy.
Dude,
I don't.
Me? Honestly, I was shitting my pants last week before I was going to talk to Matt. You know, just because this is not my forte, you know, talking on lives and stuff like that. But like I said, this is the last thing I'll go away with. It's just if there was one person that I was able to implement something new that they didn't know about,
right?
To me, that's a win.
That's what these are all about.
Yep. So I'd like to thank you for, you know, inviting me, letting me share our story in your platform. I'm much appreciated.
Absolutely, 100%. Love to, you know, like I said, talk to you.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk with Don. Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, man. Have a great day. Thank you so much for coming on. All right. It's time to get a restraining order, guys. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
You got.